Welcome dear students, we are on the CEC Gurukul lecture. We are in the series of electronic instruments, and in the last lecture we discussed about the PCB. Electronic components rapidly miniaturization has given rise to the ever small device geometries even as a performance and the computing power increases. So on the basis of that, today's lecture based upon the surface mount technology for development of PCB. As we know that recently we use the mobiles and flat panels where we use the PCB boards, motherboards, and that is designed by using the surface mount technology. So today's lecture based upon the surface mount technology, in which we discuss what is the surface mount technology, how we design the surface mount devices, and what are the steps, what are the advantages of this surface mount technology, as well what are the disadvantages of this surface mount technology. So we discuss the SMT. When we look inside any piece of the commercial made electronics equipment, we always see that it is filled with the minute devices, very minute devices, as it has resistance, it has resistors, it has transistors and capacitors, and all the minute devices are mounted on a panel. Rather than using the traditional components with the wire, leads like those may be used for home constructions and kits. These components are mounted on the surface of a board, and many are minute in the size. We take a surface of any board, and on that board many electronic minute or in the size and very small size electronic equipments are mounted on it, and in this manner we take this technology where we mount the electronic devices on the surface of a board, that is known as the surface mount technology, and that is known as a SMT, or the SMT components are used in development of the surface mount devices. Virtually all today's equipments that manufactured commercially uses the surface mount technology SMT because it offers a significant advantages during the PCB manufacturing. It is as one technology as compared to the PCB. In the view of the size, the use of the SMT components enables for the more electronic to be packed on into a much smaller space. Means we pack the electronic devices in the compact manner by preparing the surface mount devices. In addition to the size, surface mount technology allows automated PCB assembly. PCB where we mount all the devices. So in this surface mount technology, we allows the automated PCB assembly and soldering to be used, and this brings significant improvements in the reliability as well as an enormous saving in the cost. By this surface mount technology, we can prepare a automated PCB, and it is a saving. It will save the cost of the devices. Moreover, improvement is possible in this devices. So surface mount technology allows semiconductors engineers to fit more components onto the same printed circuit board. You see on the screen example of the SMT. This is the SMT, surface mount technology used to prepare the SM devices, that is a surface mount devices. So what is a surface mount technology? All about the SMT PCB surface mount technology. You see on the screen that this type of arrangement is known as the surface mount technology. Basically what we do, we assemble the electronic devices on the one platform that may be of the any type, then that may be of the any type of any semiconductor can be used for preparation of that. So SMT is an electronic assembly techniques where components are mounted directly on the PCB as opposed to inserting them into the sockets within the board like through hole technology, that is a THT. So if we talk about the history of the SMT, printed circuit boards started growing in the 1970 and 1980. At that time the PCB were built by the through hole technology. Generally PCB will be prepared by using the through hole technology. Later it was discovered that THT can be problematic to creating the boards as the devices are compact day by day. So this SMT technology is much more better than that of the PCB boards. So it may not work properly in the future as the miniaturization of the devices are going on. So to eradicate those problems, surface mount technology got introduced. Now instead of wires or leads, components can be soldered on the board. As a result, devices of the circuits have got far better from the past. So on a particular manner we assemble the parts of the SM devices so that it can work in an efficient manner as compared to the PCB boards. IBM was the first who used the surface mount technology component in 1960 for its groundbreaking work on launch of the vehicle digital computers and for the NASA space shuttles. So it is so reliable that it is used in the NASA space shuttle. Today SMT is used virtually in every type of the electronic application, like in development of the mobiles, development of the laptops, in development of the flat panels. So this PCB is replaced by the surface mount technology. And on the screen we are having these components which you use in the surface mount devices. So surface mount devices are electronic components produced using the SMT processes. That example include that we are having two type of components. One is passive and second is active components. The passive elements we use such as the resistors, chip inductors, transients, voltage suppression, diodes and the ceramic capacitors we use in development of the devices. What are the components we use? CMT has three main components that are described here. First is the passive components. These components, most example of these are resistors and the capacitors. These are the passive components. However, they are also contained the coils. These are for the devices that require a significant amount of the power. And these components are those that do not have the gain or directionality. They are also called the electrical element or electrical components. Transistor and diodes are also used as a passive components, and these are very small in sizes as we mount on the surface of the board. And transistors have the three legs as a normal, which makes them easy to solder. And these are the basic small devices which mount on the board. Integrated circuits are also used. ICs we use and it is mounted on the surface of the SM devices. So integrated circuit are the different kinds. Some we have the 8 pins and some having the 14 pins, and some more than that is used as per requirement, and some that have the microprocessors can have the 200 pins also, and more than that also be used. SMT has reduced the size while giving them all the features and power that belongs to them. So as per requirement, these ICs are used in the SMT technology to reduce the size while giving them to all the features and the power that belongs to them. And manufacturing method, if we talk about the manufacturing method, there are the two methods or the techniques of the surface mount technology. First is the type 1A and 1B assembly, and second is the type 2 assembly. You are saying that this is type 1, type 2 and type 3 assembly. Here we have type 1 assembly, that will be the 1A assembly. In this assembly, surface mount components are only soldered on the component side of the printed circuit board, and these are the small in size, and according to the requirement they are mounted on the surface. The step include the paste application, placement, preheating and then cleaning. These are the process for assembly of the components in the 1A assembly. That is only the soldering method we will use, placed application and preheating and then cleaning. In the second, the type of 1B assembly, in this type the components can be connected on either side of the board. An adhesive application is needed after the paste is applied on the second side. So, on the second side means the back side of the PCB board, it can be connected, means the device, the component can be connected on the other side of the board by using the paste or the soldering, and it can avoid it by using the low melting point solder on the other side of the board, otherwise the connection will be damaged. In this type of assembly, primary side have both the through hole and the surface mount components are attached on these through holes. The secondary side has only the surface mount elements, and its assembly is mixed component, therefore it includes a more operation and time. Now we can mount on the primary surface as well as at the other side, secondary side of the board, so it takes lot of time and it can be work efficiently. What are the advantages of the surface mount technology? Number one, as we say that it is smaller than that of the because the miniaturization is possible here. The small electronic devices are used on that surface, so it is smaller than slim PCB. What we do, SMT components are 60 to 80% smaller in the size than they are of the through hole components. Weight of this component is also much less as compared to through hole component, therefore they occupy the lesser space on the SMT PCB, thus making it smaller and slimmer. So first advantages is the PCB board are replaced by the SMT PCB boards because it is small and slimmer as compared to the PCB. PCB flexibility, since assembly components are mounted on the solder directly on the surface of the board, surface mount technology offers a great flexibility in terms of PCB material and design. So flexibility is possible in this SMT. Flex PCB and rigid flex PCB are possible only because of the SMT. So next point is the reduced, what are the application? Reduced board and the material cost. The size of SMT PCBs are smaller and there is no need for any plated through holes, so the cost will be reduced in this manner. Also, the cost of many assembly components is lesser than that of the through hole electronic components. This helps to reduce the SMT PCB manufacturing cost, and surface mounted assemblies are smaller and slimmer. There is reduced cost in terms of the handling, packaging and transportation. Other application is automated simplified production is possible in this SMT through the whole electronic components have leads that need to insert it in the plated through hole manually. These leads need not to be bent, shaped and cut. This need not to case of the SMT components. So with the automatic SMT pick and place machine, they can be automatically placed on the board. This reduces the processing and production cost of the devices. So these are mostly commonly used. So the cost of the devices is also reduced nowadays because of the SMT PCB cost is reduced. How the signal transmission can be possible here? High signal transmission and high frequency are possible in this SMT PCBs. SMT PCB assembly can support the high density mainly as a double-sided PCB we use, multi-layer PCB we use. So because of the short delay, these boards are capable of high speed signal transmission. These works faster as compared to the simple PCB. Also because the assembly components have the no leads and short leads, so RF interference is reduced there. Also SMT PCB assembly offer more resistance to vibration and there is no to less noise there. Other advantages we can discuss, it has a high assembly density leading electronic devices to the less weight. It has a high vibrational resistance as compared to the PCB. SMT ignore reliable having fewer errors of soldering points because it is mounted already. The points are given primarily, and the secondary side we can use in this SMT. SMT has a high frequency that reduces the electromagnetic and RF detection. It saves the cost of the devices. It reduces the manufacturing cost. A high degree of repeatability with fewer errors are possible in this PCB, in this SMT PCB board. We are easily optimize the board space as we put it from devices. We can, if we prepare a mask, then optimization of the board space is possible. Both sides of the assembly components are solderable as primary and secondary side we can use. Achieves greater PCB complexity due to the high component density on the board. Surface mount components are cheaper as compared to the 3 through hole types. So we are having lots of application of this surface mount technology. Apart from that, we are having the disadvantage of the surface mount technology. Most of the SMT equipments such as reflow oven, pick and place machine, solder paste, screen printing and even hot air SMT workstations are more expensive when we do it in a lithography manner. So it is a costly technique. Hence SMT PCB assembly line requires a huge investment as the machines to develop the lithography. Nowadays lithography, nanolithography are used for developing of the surface mount technology. So sometimes it's costly, expensive and difficult inspection there, as since most assembly components are small and having numerous solder joints, so it is very difficult during the inspection. So PGA packages has solder balls and joints under the components and are very difficult to inspect them. Also the SMT inspection equipments are very expensive, so difficult to inspection because we are having a net type of arrangement of the electronic component there and prone to damage. SMT components can easily get damaged in drops. Also they are very sensitive to ESD and needs ESD products for the handling the packaging. They are generally handled in the clean room environment for the development of these devices. And expensive small volume production, making SMT PCB prototype or a small scale production is expensive. So when we making in a bulk, we have to prepare a mask. So preparing a mask is also an expensive process. So when we prepare a mask, so lots of devices can, a single throw can be printed. Nowadays a printed electronics is also used for development of the SMT surface mount technology. Also there are the several technical complexity and need great experience and training for preparing these small devices. Less power, not all active in the passive devices. Components are available in the SMT. Generally power of the SMT components is less. And if we talk about the conclusion of this SMT assembly is more reliable and efficient, yet it requires the knowledge of the whole the process. The person who is developing this PCB must know all the positions of that electronic circuit. Also it is a certain demand for the design phase. SMT makes a productive and effective design and it can assemble the more components in a smaller space. As a result, it saves money and reduces the error, but still it is growing day by day. To improve more in the future, however, it is necessary to manufacture it properly with the experienced designers and the great equipment so that it works faster. What are the limitations of the surface mount technology? Despite providing a host of benefits within the electronic industry, surface mount technology have several limitations that we'll discuss in the next lecture. Thank you very much.